Today, we're going to unpack a really powerful idea. What if the key to boosting how students perceive our university's quality isn't some huge, complex overhaul, but something more fundamental? What if it's all about flexible education? We're going to dig into why this approach is the perfect response to what our students are telling us they really want and need.
So here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at what the student experience is telling us. What are they really asking for? Then, we'll introduce flexibility as our core strategic answer. After that, we'll lay out a roadmap for how to actually implement this, look at a real-world example where it's already working wonders in our engineering faculty, and then wrap up with a clear plan for a pilot program to get the ball rolling.
Okay, so first things first, let's get right to the heart of the matter. When our students talk about a quality university education, what do they actually mean? This is the big one, right? This is the fundamental question that all the data we've gathered over the years from the Course Experience Questionnaire, the CEQ, has been pointing us toward. And spoiler alert, the answer is a lot deeper than just good course content or engaging lectures. And here's the proof. A deep dive into graduate feedback from way back in 2006 made it crystal clear. Their perception of quality is holistic. It's the total package. It's not just one thing, it's everything.
This leads us to something called a system-wide quality function. It's a bit of a technical term, but the idea is simple. A student's opinion of their course can be just as affected by slow Wi-Fi or a frustrating enrollment process as it is by the curriculum itself. Every single part of the university plays a role.
So if the whole system is part of the student experience, how do we tackle that? We need one big idea that can thread through everything we do. And that idea, our strategic response, is flexibility. So what does that look like? Well, we're proposing to build flexibility into 7 key areas of the student journey. Now, this isn't a free-for-all. It's about offering smart, guided choices. It means letting students have more say over when, where, and how fast they learn, and even giving them options for things like assessment and how they enter a course. It's all about meeting them where they are.
Now, a huge enabler for all of this is blended learning. But, and this is really important, we're not just talking about putting lecture notes online. We're talking about the thoughtful combination of in-person teaching with amazing digital tools to create a learning environment that's richer and way more responsive for every single student.
Okay, this all sounds great, but how do we actually do it? How do we roll out something this big in a way that makes sense? The answer is a smart implementation roadmap built around something called a contingency-based framework. It basically acknowledges that a university is a complex place.
Right at the very center, the absolute bullseye of this framework is our core mission, the practice of teaching and learning. Everything, and I mean everything we do, has to serve and improve this. Now, wrapping directly around that core are the things that touch it every single day. What we teach, how we teach it, how we measure success, and so importantly, who our students actually are. These are the immediate factors that shape the learning experience.
And here's where it gets really smart. The framework shows that those educational factors don't exist in a bubble. They are constantly being shaped by this wider sphere. Things like our own institutional policies, organizational structures, and outside pressures like professional accreditation or international trends. This map helps us see how it all connects. All right, theory is great, but does this actually work in the real world? You bet it does. And we don't have to look far. The School of Engineering at Deakin University is a fantastic case study that shows this whole approach isn't just possible, it's already a success.
To make this tangible, let's create a persona. Let's meet Alex. Alex is a mature student. They've been working in a technical field for years. They've got tons of hands-on experience, but they need that formal degree to get a promotion. They can't just quit their job and go to school full-time. So how do we help Alex?
For someone like Alex, flexibility is a complete game changer. Through recognition of prior learning, or RPL, we can validate their real-world experience and give them credit. A modular curriculum lets them tailor their studies to what they actually need to learn. And with remote options and incredible tools like home experimental kits, they can get a hands-on education that fits around their life.
And this engineering example really drives home a critical point. There's a huge difference between just using technology and using it purposefully. It's not about just scanning a textbook and calling it an online course. It's about investing in simulations, remote labs, and interactive tools that create genuinely accessible and engaging experiences for everyone, including, for example, students with visual impairments who can't rely on traditional print materials.
Now, you might be wondering, does all this flexibility mean we're watering things down? And the answer is absolutely not. In fact, it's the opposite. The program is carefully designed so that the flexible assessments and modular structure all align perfectly with the strict competency-based requirements of professional engineering bodies. Our graduates are more than ready for the industry.
Okay, so we've seen the proof. We know this works. The million-dollar question now is, how do we scale this success from one amazing faculty to the entire university? And that brings us to our proposed pilot program.
We're proposing a clear 4-step pilot. We'll kick things off by choosing 3 diverse faculties to see how the model works in different settings. We'll focus first on the big wins, implementing flexible assessment and learning pace, backed up by cool resources like simulations. Then, crucially, we will measure the impact, report back on what we find, and use that data to refine the model for a bigger rollout.
And we won't be guessing if it's working. We'll be tracking success against very clear key performance indicators. We want to see our academic staff embracing these new strategies. We'll be looking for a real, measurable 5% jump in student satisfaction scores. And we'll even track efficiency gains, like cutting down assessment turnaround times. You know, when you boil it all down, this is about so much more than a new policy. It's about building a university that is more agile, more resilient, and truly, genuinely centered on our students. So the real question this leaves us with is this: how can we empower both our incredible faculty and our amazing students to design this future together? It's a huge opportunity, and I think we're ready for it.